So, according to the New York Times and TMZ, and I have to say right now that using the names of those two news organizations in the same breath makes me just want to vomit. Well, they're reporting that talks are now underway to remove Jay Leno from his 10 p.m. Eastern time slot and to put him back on the air after the news at 11:35. And as you might have guessed, the reasons for doing so would not be because his ratings in that primetime slot are good. It would be because they are so god-awfully putrid that they've weakened NBC Universal to the point where GE had to sell it off to Comcast before Jay's putrefaction rubbed off on the refrigerators and ovens and threatened to destroy their entire GE product line, which would have then necessitated a multi-billion-dollar bailout of the company by the Obama administration, which would have so infuriated the voters that Sarah Palin would have been nominated by both the Democratic and Republican parties in 2012, leading to her election as president and the end of civilization as we now know it. And why would NBC want to reward Jay with his old time slot after single-handedly destroying the network's primetime lineup? Well, that would be because, in NBC's own words, Jay Leno is one of the most compelling entertainers in the world today. And as we have said all along, Jay's show has performed exactly as we anticipated on the network. Exactly as you anticipated? You actually intended for Jay to single-handedly destroy NBC? I mean, what are you guys in the NBC Briss? Members of an Al-Qaeda sleeper cell? You couldn't manage to hijack a plane and fly it into a building, so you thought you'd do the next best thing and ram a major American corporation with Jay Leno? And as NBC pointed out, some of their affiliates also had a problem with Jay's compelling performance because the ratings on their 11 p.m. news shows have fallen into one of the compost heaps left over from NBC's Green Week and may one day produce a lovely head of Belgian endive, but which will likely never transform into anything else green for the local station owners. And you know, God only knows how many jokes Jay must have delivered over the past year, hammering all those Wall Street fat cats for taking those obscene bonuses after having screwed over their brokerage firms and their stockholders. But you know, how is he any different? The only reason he was given the primetime show was because it was cheap to produce and it allowed NBC to set his ratings bar super low. And just because they didn't want him to go to Fox and compete with Conan O'Brien. Or in other words, they were paying him millions to stay at NBC and be mediocre. Yeah, sure, Jay Leno is compelling just the way a bad car crash is.